Back in the 18th century, there was an event that revolutionized the entire world. That event was the Industrial Revolution.
But what was the Industrial Revolution?
I thought you'd never ask! The Industrial Revolution took place in the 18th century and was first started in the country of Great Britain. You know, that place that spells color with the U in the center and tried to take away our freedom a while back. Before the revolution, a majority of the people lived on small farmlands or in villages where there were little to no manufacturing. This meant that the people moved away from the farms and country and slowly drifted into the cities to look for work. Even though there was a mass majority of people that wanted to look for work in the cities, some people were just blatantly forced to. These people ended up living in cities that just couldn't support them. Also during these times, there was a mass amount of inventions that were invented, among the biggest one being the steam engine. Thomas Newcomen invented the first commercially successful steam engine in 1712. Since the 18th century, using steam power had been used for various uses, like powering the machines in mills, mines, and factories. They also powered ships, locomotives, steamboats, road vehicles, and also powered pumping stations. And since I'm trying to get as much information inside of this video in as little time as possible, let's just move on to talking about the assembly line. The assembly line was created by the infamous Henry Ford. Well, not really. You see, it was actually created by a man of the names of Ransom Ellie Olds. That is him. Olds had worked on cars like about his entire life. But he's not important right now. It's all about Henry Ford. Look at Henry Ford. Oh my god, it's Henry Ford. Henry Ford, who founded the infamous Ford Motor Company, had nothing to do with the invention of the assembly line. He just innovated it, which is taking something and improving upon it. Sort of like what Apple does to the iPhones each year, except they just make them worse. Henry Ford had innovated the assembly line when he had created the first large-scale assembly line. This changed the way that automobiles were created. Instead of taking 12 hours to create one singular car, Ford had the ability to cut that down to only 2 hours and 30 minutes. That's removing 9.7 hours from that time. Trust me, I did the math. Assembly line was also a main factor with the change of how goods were produced. Nowadays, so much is done on the assembly line, such as packaging food, making toys, creating light bulbs, and of course, assembling cars. But of course, the workers on the assembly line soon got sick and tired of having the same repetitive job to do. Most of the time, workers were just left feeling dehumanized. This soon led to a bigger change that would soon revolutionize the way that goods were made. As was bound to happen, the workers of the line soon got sick and tired of doing the same repetitive job every day, even with a pay of $5 an hour, which was still a lot at the time and wasn't even required by law to pay your employers. But of course, Henry Ford decided to fix that problem. He started to place robots and machines on the assembly lines to replace the workers who were sick of their jobs. As we can tell by today's factories, this idea went extremely over with the public. Like, extremely well. Some people did not get fired from their job because of a robot, though. Some even had the privilege to control the machine that replaced them. What a privilege! Having robots do the jobs of the humans led to a lot of goods and bads about it. When robots were deployed, a ton of jobs were cut for humans. But the quality of how the product was made improved, along with the safety, production, and the amount of money saved. Now as I awkwardly segue into the next topic, let's talk about the telegraph. The telegraph was invented by Samuel Morse in 1844. This allowed people to communicate quickly over a wire. They had the ability to send messages to each other by using Morse code. In order to communicate with people that did not live close to you though, they had to have a wire that stretched all the way over to where they lived. So by 1860, they had wires that stretched from the east coast of the United States all the way to the west of the Mississippi River. Since you had to memorize Morse code to use the telegraph, it soon got taken over by the telephone, which was invented by Alexander Graham Bell. The way he actually discovered the telegraph, though, was actually quite fascinating. Alexander Graham Bell was working on a new type of telegraph when he accidentally spilled something on his clothing. He called for his assistant, who was actually able to hear Alexander's voice over the wire. And now moving on to the final part of the video, we have... So the Industrial Revolution wasn't just filled with good things. There were plenty of bad things, trust me. Here are some of the good things about the revolution, though. The amount of factories that produced quality goods increased in numbers rapidly. Transportation changed drastically for the better. Class and the well-being of people increased. And cities grew and offered people tons of new work and opportunities. But on the other hand, the increase in industrialization caused an increase in pollution in the air. New lifestyles come with a side effect. Among these was diabetes and cancer. Some machines took the spot of humans, causing an increase in unemployment rates. Industrialization in modern cities attracts immigrants. And working from other factories is exhausting. This leads to longer working hours and has working conditions that are so bad it often results in illnesses and deaths. Well, that's the Industrial Revolution. I mean...